The US is moving to sanction anyone who opposes what Washington calls a democratic process in Yemen. The Arab states fighting an alleged al-Qaeda insurgency with military support from America. Yemen's also seen months of political unrest with anti-government protesters demanding more reforms. Well, US-based anti-war activist Susan Lindauer is on the line to give us her thoughts about what's happening there right now. Susan, very good evening from Moscow. Thanks for being with us. Do members of the peaceful opposition in Yemen fall under these new sanctions?
Well, bad news for Barack Obama. The United States has played right into the hands of al-Qaeda. It's been a long-term ambition of al-Qaeda to manipulate the United States into putting sanctions on Yemen so that they can alienate the very impoverished Yemeni people from the central government. Yemen is a scrabble-poor country, desperately poor. They're running out of water. They have no food. They have limited hospitals, limited educational opportunities, and al-Qaeda, Yemen sits right next door to Saudi Arabia. Ever since the bombing of the USS Cole, al-Qaeda has made it clear that it wants to establish a base inside Yemen to attack the Saudi oil fields right next door. And anything that they can do to alienate the Yemeni people from the Central Authority and the West, the United States cause, this is a great victory for them. It's a very bad decision by the United States.
Well, you're right. The official line from Yemen.
Sorry, but it is.
Well, the official line from Yemen is that it's maintaining it's fighting al-Qaeda. But is that the whole story? That the only target?
Well, the problem is that the Yemeni people, Yemen is on the verge of disintegrating into a civil war. Unfortunately, because of its poverty, because of the perceptions that it lacks no oil, most of the corporate media in the West has ignored it. And in fact, it's a huge strategic issue for the United States, and the Washington is playing it very badly. The Gulf nations are playing this badly. Yemen urgently needs financial resources. They need as much economic aid as all of the Gulf nations and Saudi Arabia can pump into it. They need help right now. The worst thing you can do is to try to cut off funding for any human being in Yemen. The Yemeni people will suffer, and al-Qaeda is poised to take advantage of that. They've been hoping for this to happen ever since the bombing of the USS Cole. That was the purpose of the USS Cole. They were trying to, al-Qaeda had a long-term ambition of persuading the US to impose sanctions on any faction of Yemeni society.
The big key here, I guess, is Yemen's position in the region geographically. But the US still doesn't have a military base there, does it? Yet? Will it be having one?
Well, I would say they have secret military bases all over the place, don't they? They have drone capacity, and they first tested the drones in Yemen. Over the past few years, Yemen was the first target of the drones. And so they have a very strong, the U.S. has a strong secret military capacity in that country, is the way I would put it.
Thanks ever so much for your time there in Washington. Susan Lindauer, much appreciated.